All right, guys, here we are for another amazing night of the Health Coach series. And I just want to say it has been so exciting and fun to be getting like messages and emails. And even I just talked to one of our good health coach friends who just said, it was literally the inspiration from seeing these success stories that I got chills when she told me. She's like, I literally walked up to somebody in a store and said, yeah, do you need help? She said, because I listened to you guys and realized that all of this is really possible. And we even talked and I said, so much of this is that we start to think we can't do it, or we try to follow somebody else's model. We try to just go online. We try to just do this. We try to just launch. And the beauty of each of these coaches, and Sarah Lawrence is here tonight with me, is that each one of them have created their intuitive business and have molded and changed as they've changed and times have changed and always work to create sustainability. And that, I think, is Sarah's middle name. Sarah Sustainability Lawrence. And one of the things that she and I have talked about always, is just how important, and I think especially in this time right now, how many people are sick, suffering emotionally, physically, spiritually. I mean, the list goes on. The increase in the myriad of health issues, cancer, ADD, kids on Ritalin, kids on more medications than my husband's grandma, who is 97. And so when I really think about this health coaching business, I don't just think about, oh, it's a launch or it's this. My biggest motivation in the beginning was just really thinking about my own journey and my own struggle. So it's probably why Sarah and I are such kindred spirits, and I'm completely excited for her to talk about first her offline experience, and then she hit me with a little woo, because she made a commitment to herself and said, worked offline for so long and I've been really successful and I've built a business that I love, but now it is time. And she had just said this to me a few weeks ago. Said, I think I'm gonna run maybe a challenge or do something. So she surprised me with, breaking into that market, but doing it in a way that she was really comfortable, didn't push her to feel like strung out, emotionally wrecked. And I think that's the biggest thing that I hear from people is that they just feel like there's too many moving parts. They can't do it. They want to quit. They feel overwhelmed. They stop. And then nothing happens. So tonight we get to hear from Sarah. So Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell everyone just a little about you? I mean, I know because you've been a moderator in the forum for how long?
Oh, a couple of years at least.
Years.
Because I love you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up the volume so I can hear. Just tell everyone a little about like your coaching, the start of it, a little of the evolution, so they fall in love with you as much as I.
Thank you. So I have been holistic health coaching since about 2011. I think like so many health coaches, I came to that point because of my own health issues, right? I mean, we all have a history. So to give you a really short, a short synopsis, I had thyroid cancer when I was 16. It was terrible. It was a terrible thing. At 16, it's just definitely not what you think was going to happen. And it was a really long haul for me. A lot of different therapies, a lot of years. I actually did not get an all clear scan for 20 years. Okay, just let that think for a second. So for 20 years, I dealt with this constant worry. What's going to come up next? Is it back? Is it not back? Where the heck is it now? The little ache and pain. What does that mean? It was a constant state of fear. But in that time, I did what everybody else does. I went to school, I graduated, I fell in love, I got married, and finally, when I got that clear, I had babies. Right?
Sorry. Do you have earphones by any chance? Because it's echoing. Okay, yeah. Elaine, I was trying to see if it was going to work. It's just going in and out. And your story is like, even I'm like, I don't think I've heard the full blown story like this.
Yeah. Is that any better?
Yeah, there's a little of an echo, but maybe if you just go low, because when you go up closer, it goes away. And then when you go back.
How's this?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Do you want me to back up?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, so the long and short is, I had my own health struggles and health journey. But I came to health coaching because of that, because I was looking for solutions, right? Once I had my babies, everything sort of went to hell. It just went to hell. My body got all messed up. I had beautiful babies, but I had C-sections, so I was recovering from that. And, in the course of that, you think, this is normal. Like, it's normal for my feet to hurt right here. It's normal for my joints to be killing me. It's normal for my skin to be weird. Like, this is normal, right? And when you find out that that's not normal, you find that out and you realize, oh no, like something else is going on. And with my personal journey with cancer, I thought, oh, like this is not a good deal. So I did what I think a lot of people would do. I sought traditional therapies. Wasn't going to work for me. I was breastfeeding babies, right? I made the choice to take a holistic route. In the course of that, I spent 4 years, kind of got everything under control. It was awesome, okay? And then I decided, well, if I can do this, I should be able to share this with people, but I want to do it in a way that's responsible. So that means I need to educate myself. I need to become informed and aware, and I need to learn how to coach, because you don't want to go out and like just be willy-nilly. Like, so many coaches are that person where people come up to you and they say, hey, I know you know all about this. So tell me, like, what should I do for blah, 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 right? Like, you don't want to be that person to just be giving out advice and potentially giving somebody bad advice, right? So I decided, let's get educated. That's how I came to health coaching. So I went to IIN. I did that in 2011. So I've been doing this for about 7 years. In the time from then until now, I've done a lot of other certifications. Like Rachel, like now you need to know, right? You need to know. So I've done a lot of other certifications, and I constantly go for classes and workshops to keep myself current, because I think it's important. It makes me feel good about what I do, to make sure that I'm offering the best to the people that I serve. And it also gives me a lot of information, right? Constantly learning. It just works for me. In the course of all this, I became a Reiki master, so I do a lot of energy work. That's something that we can talk about when we talk about offline stuff, because I do a little bit more than health coaching. I got certified in laughter yoga and laughter therapy to be able to teach that. Why? Both of those things align with everything that I do. It is the basic, right? Stress relief. I work with people who are super stressed out, just like I was. The solution that I offer is, let's peel back the layers of the crap that's going on. Like, can I get an amen? Because this happens to all of us. And peel that back and be able to start to get the body back into a rhythm and back into balance, okay? So that's kind of how I got here. It's why I do what I do. That make sense?
Yeah. I mean, can you, just before we even go further, are your earphones plugged into the computer?
Yes.
Because there's a little echo. It sounds like there's two mics like tripping. I just want to make sure, because what you're saying is like so great. And
how about now?
Still a little echo. It just might be what it is. And I just want to kind of even piggyback off of that is, when I talk about the story, guys, and I talk about ownership of where you've been, what was it like, the pain or the feeling, or find the emotion in it. When I hear coaches say, I can't do it, or I don't know what to say to people, I always think of Sarah, or I always think of, people who just get so passionate about how bad it was, or the struggle, or the confusion in finding the answer. And when I think about what is a health coach, they are the way shower. And that, my teacher, who I love, Dr. Morse, he always says that you are the way shower, to show somebody not to make the mistake or not to go down the hard road. We're not here to be like, you can only do this or you can only do that. And that's, you know, that's why I think when people say, well, if somebody's coming to me with diabetes, what do I say? Well, if you can work in that scope and you're permitted to work in that scope, or maybe you need to, if you're in the United States and you're in a red or you're in an orange state, to work under a doctor or work in collaboration, or you work on the stress and the lifestyle. But at the end of the day, there are so many factors that come into how our body reacts. It's not just the food, it's our stress, it's how we process, it's the level of toxins, it's everything. So as you're even listening to Sarah tonight, think about the things that you can do as, you know, presentations offline, classes, and Sarah's can even talk about this, not just, you know, Reiki that she does, but what are some of the classes, like the kombucha class I know that she does, and some of the things that build authority offline. So people say, oh, you know, yeah, I saw that, you know, box of probiotics, you know, with Special K. What are those probiotics about? So you become the person, whoever you attract. Sarah attracts people like her. So they're sick, struggling, autoimmune, all those different things. You're going to attract and mirror most often the people that are that are similar to your own journey, or people that reflect a part of the journey. So when I talk, and I want to just clear this up about niche, everyone should be focused, meaning singular focused. You don't want to be like, I'm working like, you know, Carrie works with running, you know, running moms. You don't want to be like, I work with running moms and I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this and I work with sick people. You want to think of, based on your own story, what are the 2 to 3 like clear polarizing parts of your story, or what are the things that you want people to know you for? And from that, what people get confused about is they think, oh, I need to have all these different opt-in freebies with all these different, all right, I'm all over the place. You're not. The opt-in freebies become different messages of the same topic. You're still bringing them down the same line. You're still taking them down the road of, this is what I did to get my autoimmune better. This is what I did to get my thyroid better. And you're still speaking from the, I did this. And I don't know what necessarily is going to work for you. We're going to test this out. And if we need to pivot as we go down this success journey, that's life, because you're a different person now. So I just want you to think, when I've said this, know what your presentations are. That's online or offline. Know what for me, it was how to detox on the go, how to love your liver so you have healthy hormones. But I'm not a hormone specialist, and I never was. But the hormones were a part that people were like, oh my God, they wanted to know that. I focused on the detox part. So think about the presentations offline so that you can go in and start to pitch and start to collaborate and start to do offline classes where either they're free or you're charging, leading to the next goal, one-on-one or a group coaching or a shopping tour. All right. So tell us, as far as and everything, how did you start? What was kind of the first step that you started to develop your coaching business?
I did one-on-one coaching a lot. So that was the thing that really got me going, was one-on-one coaching. Because I didn't know any better, you know, like I didn't know any other way but to go out and say, okay, I'm going to handle this one person at a time. And that was comfortable, and I felt confident, and I got a lot of traction that way. Okay. But then you get to that point where you're like, I can only work with so many people one-on-one. And the people that I work with, they are very stressed out. So I started to get stressed out, you know, so I wanted to find a solution for myself where I could get more information out to more people. So I started to ask myself, you know, these people that I'm seeing, what is it that they want? Like you were just talking about. What do they want? What would I want if I were in their situation? Okay. what are their pain points? So for me, I looked at and said, okay, the ladies that I work with are the people who take care of everyone else. Okay, these are the people that take care of everyone else while they are suffering in silence. Okay, we all know those people. Probably we all are those people. These are the people who are tired of living with no answers. They often feel alone or abandoned. They may not be finding the answers that they want in traditional healthcare. And so I thought, all right, what is it that I can do to serve them? So for me, it became a series, right? So I thought, okay, well, a one-time thing is not what my people want. They want to get to know me, and I want to get to know them. It needs to become a relationship of support. So I started doing workshops. Okay, that's how I got into that. I thought, all right, let's build a relationship with people because that's what I wanted, and I figured if that's my people, it's what they'll want to do. And that's worked for me, right? So when we talk about building that, like how do you find a place to do that? How do you think about what it is that you want to offer? Okay. When you're doing that, you have to think about like, first of all, what am I comfortable teaching? Right? You don't want to pick a topic that you're uncomfortable with because it's gonna suck. It's gonna come across as completely not genuine and people just won't buy into you, right? And we all know if they're really not buying the materials so much, they're buying you. So you have to be comfortable and confident in what you're doing, right? What kind of services can I provide in addition to like what I can teach? What else can I offer them? Because again, it's building a relationship. You can't go into an offline thing and say, I'm just here to tell you all this stuff and then I'll catch you later, right? So for me, I had to be able to provide something else, an ongoing piece of support. That was my secondary layer, right? What other experiences can I offer? That's where I got into offering like longer workshops, 4-hour workshops, became a VIP day, became a weekend retreat, okay? How can I build the experience for people in a way that feels good to them where we are also building that relationship, okay? That's where I started. So it started off one person at a time and just built naturally from there because I wanted to be able to build those relationships and provide the support. So if you're offline, that I think that's key. And relationships come into it from the secondary layer as well. Where are you offering these things?
On the upsell. So almost, right. I mean, without looking at it in terms of this gross marketing, because I do think, and you keep going back to relationship building, and right. I talked to my son about this today, because I was talking to a coach where we were driving to a birthday party that I was taking him to, and he was actually talking to her because it was through the Bluetooth of the car, and he was like, blah, 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 blah. And I got off and I said, you know, Max, which is my son, which you know, I said, Max, one thing I want you to understand about life, this is not a 11-year-old talk, this is a life talk, is that anything you do is about building relationships. And what I learned when I was doing classes, workshops, everything, I would go and pitch to a health food store, the Salt Suite, gyms, chiropractors, yoga studios, the list goes on. So I want you guys, even right now as we're doing this, to make it a little interactive. I want you to write down, I always say 5, 10 feels a little overwhelming. If you want to do the double dog dare, do 10, but write down 5 places you can think of that know your name. I had moved, and if some of you don't know, I moved from Philadelphia, where when I graduated, we had just moved to Florida. I wasn't even able to attend graduation. So I didn't know anybody. So when I went to school, I was like, oh, easy. I know everyone in Philly. I was planning out like, who am I collaborating with? What am I doing? So when I moved here, I knew nobody. So if you think, well, I don't know anyone, or I live in a place where there aren't people that need help, or they don't know healthy foods, or it doesn't matter. Everyone's health. It's all different levels. Someone doesn't need to ever know a superfood. I've actually had clients in Boca come into my office and say, don't talk superfoods, talk real food. We're good. Let's move on. So I started going and showing up, meaning I would put all my brochures, old school brochures, guys, make them on PowerPoint. If you don't have the money, I didn't. Make it on Canva, on the A2. That's what it's called. I printed out business cards. These days, moo.com is amazing. You know,
Yes.
designer. Wish that was around in my day. And I put them everywhere, and I would go in and buy a juice, introduce myself, ask if the owner was around as I was nervous and shaking. But I would eventually, what happened is they were like, yeah, that's really cool. What do you want to do? I was like, shopping tour. I give everyone a program. We would sit here, everyone would shop. It's a win-win. So I want you guys to think about 5 places. Because when you think about offline, it's not just going, I want to create a one-on-one business. You have to think, where am I finding clients? So I'm just going to piggyback on what Sarah was saying. What I did is every coffee shop that had a pin board, and I went in a 10-mile radius. I drove with little Sammy, who was a baby in the back, and my son sometimes pushing on a double stroller, and I would pin on every coffee shop. I would go in YMCA, all those different places. I would, anywhere that was a coffee table, I'd put all my brochures, workshop stuff. I did all the things, and many things that I think you guys are also not being taught. Like, where do we find these places? We're all being taught a lot of online. And Facebook algorithms have changed significantly, guys. It's not like it was. It's not to scare anyone. It's to say that's why your efforts may not be matching what you hear. And IG has just changed significantly, Instagram in the last. So I really encourage you, go onto LinkedIn, go into some places that are like not as busy, and where people are kind of looking elsewhere. So, and also locally, start, you know, putting your card out there and going also in and talking to your own doctor. Leave your cards there. I did that with my doctor. I had tons of tons. Your own, whatever, as Sarah said, if you think of the list, and this is your next 5, you think of the list of people that you've seen or that know you. Have you sent a letter to any of them by email, personal to each person? I want to let you know this is a huge change I made. I did it, even if you guys went in 2008, you've been sitting back and you're now like re-inspired, or maybe you're brand new to the coaching business. I want you to think about sending a personal letter. Hey, you know, I know we haven't talked in a long time. Get a little, you know, I can do it before you send. Just hit and put yourself on, I can do it. Just keep saying it's okay. You know, if somebody says they don't want to hear from me, and then reach out to those people who you do currently see. You see a massage therapist, you see an acupuncturist, somebody for NET. Who are the people in your sphere who you respect, and start collaborating. And also look locally for any PTAs. I did a lot of talks at PTAs, Montessori schools. So and I say that because each place I spoke a lot or I did things matched my life. At the time of the Montessori school, my kids were in Montessori. At the time they went off to the next place, I spoke at those schools. So even country clubs, community centers, all those things, the local town area, libraries, the list goes on. These are all places you're going to have to carve out time. But for many of you who say, nobody's hiring me, no one's finding you, your site, unless you're spending money on optimization, they're probably not going to just find you from Googling. So that's why I mean, sometimes if you have a lot of recipes, if you have a lot of videos, those increase search engine optimization, blogging. That's why I always say, like, these are the things, if you can set yourself up for a schedule, blog once a week, maybe shoot a little video, a little how-to video, how to make a smoothie, how to do this. And you may think that's ridiculous. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They look and they go, oh, that recipe looks great. I don't know how to make it. I don't even know what coconut oil is. Do a shopping tour with your phone. I mean, all these things, and do that as a live. Yeah, if you want me to come to your home, contact me. Send me a personal message. You don't need them to sign up for anything. Go old school, especially with the changing regulations of emails, and it's going to continue as data processing is a huge topic right now. I want you to have balance and have sustainability. And I will close with this, and then I'm going to tag Sarah back, is that people online, it takes about 5 seconds for them to either be attracted to the picture you just posted or identify with what you posted. But when you are face to face, you can feel somebody's energy. You can feel them go, and you're like, oh, you know, when this happened to me, I felt the same way. I felt overwhelmed. I felt upset, and they can feel you, and you'll have that connection. And so I just want you guys to think about what areas are you maybe missing out on? What areas are you possibly waiting for perfect everything, where you could be actually making money and changing lives, making money. And I want you to say this, I make money so I can change lives. I change lives and I will make money, and I'm not going to sit there anymore and wait for whatever. The only way you ride a bike, and you ride a bike, and my daughter actually said this the other day, she goes, I haven't ridden a bike in a while. It's so funny, Mommy. Once you ride a bike, you know how to ride a bike, and then you get better. Same thing with coaching. No different. So Sarah, can you break down, because I think one of the things that I see major missing is practicum, almost like what we learn when we're in school, practicum. But you know, that only comes from when you're really interacting face to face with people, or you're doing a lot of case studies and you have to submit. That's practicum. So what I see is that there's a lot of practicum missing, like what did you charge, or what do you charge for this workshop? How did you set it up, and where did you market? How did you get people? You can walk us through your kombucha shop and workshop, and then invite me on the next one. I'll fly
it. Okay, so with the kombucha workshop, again, the first thing that I had to ask is, what is this going to solve for people? Okay, because I like kombucha, and I know a lot of people like kombucha, but the first thing is, what problem is this solving? How is this helping the people that I serve? Okay, so it comes down to that factor of everybody is spending a lot of money. So number one, it's a cost issue. And it's because they want, you know, those belly results. They're hearing about the benefits of kombucha. They're hearing about probiotics. They want to kind of get on that train because it's cool and it's out there, but they're not sure. So the first thing is, I market it that way, right? This is for you if, okay? This is for you if you're spending a ton of money on kombucha every week. This is for you if you are experiencing belly bloat. This is for you if, and you can go down the list, okay? You make your materials that way.
This is for you if you don't want to spend $4.
Exactly. Now the thing is, like, to back this up, like, the kombucha workshop has come out of other workshops. I've already laid the foundation of getting out there with you know, webinars, okay? Getting out there with the free workshops at the libraries. Exactly what you said, like, it's carbon copy almost, you know? You get out there in the places that you know the people are, okay? As a mom, that's the library, it's the PTA, it's like all the schools.
The playground.
Yeah. Sorry about that phone ringing, you can hear that. But, you know, it's all of those places where we go. It's got one more ring and then it'll stop. So it's all of those places that we go, and it's who you see there, right? How am I going to build that relationship? So again, this is furthering the relationship that's already being built. Could you do it like if it's like a bomb diggity workshop? Yeah, I think so. And there are people who do the workshop who I have not met personally, but they always or almost always come from someone who already knows me. Mm-hmm. Someone says, oh my God, you have to do this. Like, Sarah's doing this workshop, it's going to be awesome. Why? Because I built that reputation and I built that relationship.
You build authority. I mean, I think that's the thing. We never talk about offline authority.
Right.
You guys have to look at this as what you want people to know you for.
Yes, you have to show up.
You have to show up, and that's, see, the beauty about live workshops and the beauty, so I'll define the online versus the offline. So you see both examples. If you did a live stream and you took even like the hormone workshop, the gut, the sugar, or any of the PowerPoints in any of the programs, because the PowerPoints always feed into the message of that program. If you did that and you're not comfortable, so let's just talk about phase one. Phase one is for the coach who's not comfortable yet to be face-to-face. You know, they're like, I wish we were back in the day of teleseminars. What happened? Then you prop up, you get like one or a different kind of, you know, little holder, and you announce that you're going to be doing this. You announce it the day before. Hey, meet me here, make a little event, and you do it online and you do a live stream. And you say, I have a free gift, which is the handout that we supply. And I do this for a reason, guys. I'm not psychotic. I do it for a reason because I saw what worked over time. Say, you know, if you want to get this, if this was really helpful for you, because you struggle with A, B, C, D. And Sarah laid that out, and it's really important because people don't stop just because you say gut workshop, unless they know what that is. They're like, how many of us, raise your hand if somebody said I have acid reflux, and you go, oh yeah, so we can work on your gut. And they're like, that's not a gut issue. I told you I had acid reflux. Must have happened to me 127 times. Like my doctor never said I had, or that wouldn't be, I don't have stomach problems. I'm like, you just told me you have acid reflux, ear, nose, throat, down. And they're like, and that's what I was talking to you about being intuitive. I'm not going to sit here and push that. That person does not want to hear it. They're not ready for that. But the handout could also be like, hey, if this is helpful, personal message me. You start the connection. Second, phase two, so if you are comfortable, do a live stream or do a webinar. Really engage with people. Do a live Q&A right after that. How, you know, what are some of the issues? Do you want to hear my, you know, what worked for me? What worked for a client? What worked for my mom? What worked for my sister? Because I guarantee you helped your family or somebody, you know, even if you've never had clients, almost everyone in your sphere is a client, because most of you, like us, has given the shopping center away for free many, many times. So I guarantee you have someone who's like, oh my God, that was so helpful. You took the time. That's your testimonial. So you could do that, or offline, you do a workshop. I always would, about 15 minutes in, say, hey guys, and under your seat, the handout. And everyone start reading this. And also there's a food diary there, or I would just have a piece of paper. I want you to write down everything, because that interaction creates community. And as you test out these, and what Sarah said, as you test these out to see which one really gels with you, those become your signature PowerPoints. The other ones just become authority building that match still matching your core message, your core system, the things you want people to know. But you have your signature ones that are like you roll everywhere with it. You could be like, oh yeah, I can do the daily detox. Let me, you know, do you want me to do this? Or do you want me to come in and tell you how to like eat for energy and fuel after you work out? I had some key ones that still matched who I was, not just even my niche, who I was, like what I struggled with. And so that's why it always just came out organically. All right, tell me also about pricing.
So pricing, the way that I figured that out is really cost of materials, because let's use the kombucha workshop as an example, okay? So cost of materials. I provide a kombucha kit. So that is a gallon jar, glass jar. I grow a SCOBY in the jar. Like, for people who don't know, the SCOBY is that symbiotic colony of yeast and bacteria. We'll do a little primer here. So that needs to grow in the jar, or you can, you can take a chunk of a big one and kind of put that in there, but it doesn't look great, right? So you want to deliver a nice product. I want to have this gorgeous SCOBY sitting on the top of this, little mother liquid in there, so people feel awesome that they're getting a great product and along with the workshop. Okay, so I price out the materials. And then I look at how many people do I need? What do I want to make? This is a matter of money as well. We just, like, you put your finger on it. We give away so much for free, okay? But when you have great content and you're giving a really good presentation, you should be compensated for that. As an energy worker, I would share with you that that is an exchange, right? Money is just an exchange for the effort and the energy that you've put out. So if you have a money issue right now, get over it. Get over that issue. I did too. It's one of those things though that you feel weird about sometimes. And I know when I was a new coach, I felt so weird about it. It didn't feel good sometimes to be like, okay, this coaching session costs, $65 or whatever it is. It didn't feel right because you want to help everybody. Yep. You want to help. You're a helper. We're givers. We're givers. We're lovers, right? But the bottom line is we're also business people. And so with that, you have to
take that one earphone out. Sorry, take that one out. Yeah, now talk.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So the bottom line is you have to look at your bottom line. You have to figure out what you need in order to make the amount of money that you're looking for. So for me, I won't run a kombucha workshop without 6 to 8 people. The space that I have, that's comfortable for me to work in, number one. And when I'm looking at creating the materials, actually growing the scobies, that works for me because it takes a good 3-4 weeks to grow the thing. So for me, that works. Okay. And when I'm charging, anywhere between, the cost of materials is like between $9 and $10, sometimes a little bit more depending on the cost of sugar, okay? As the sugar goes up, you need sugar to add in. It's the one time that a health coach will say, you need organic sugar. Okay, you're always surprises people. People are always saying, what, there's sugar here? Yep. So that, and I include in the kit a couple of versions of tea. I give them some black tea bags and some organic green tea bags so they can make 2 full batches of their kombucha. So they go home with something that they can do. So in the workshop, I educate. There's materials that go along. There's worksheets. I also do have a PowerPoint presentation that I throw up on my screen, so it's interactive. You have to be very prepared when you're doing offline work. Just like you are when you're setting up marketing online, you have to be prepared for offline as well. So it's about having the confidence to be able to deliver your materials, and having a quality product. Okay, with kombucha, it's got to be good kombucha. If you stay making kombucha, don't do a kombucha workshop. Like, you've got to get that down before you're offering it. Otherwise, people are going to come and they're going to be like, well, that wasn't very good, And you don't want to be known as somebody who puts out a crap product. Let's be real. Okay. So it's that. I also look at the timing. Now with the kombucha workshop, for me, I slate it for about 60 minutes. We usually go over because I'll do like a little time at the end for questions and answers. I also have kombucha out that I made, so I do a little taste test. We do mocktails. We do like dehydrated scobies. It's like, wow, everyone's like, oh my God, what am I eating? Let me tell you. And they're shocked because it actually is kind of cool. We talk about ways to use a SCOBY for beauty. You can, believe it or not, like put a SCOBY on your face like a mask. It feels kind of nice. Did you know? I know. So if you go wear a SCOBY, you just have to rinse it off so you don't get vinegar in your eye, but you can do that. You can blend some SCOBY up in your blender and add it as a rinse for your hair. Like all these things, okay? You're learning, right? You're like, what?
I mean, and so I even want you here. Actually, I might have you come closer up to the mic. Closer up to your computer. I think there might be a mic somewhere that's kind of feeding off. But that's what I want you guys to see. Is see how at one point, or actually, I think it was like 4, where I was like, you want somebody when you're introducing, or even when you're talking about it, or even if you're pitching to somebody, you're not like, can I come in and, talk about the 7 ways to lose weight? Or can I do a workshop on, sprouting? Or can I do a workshop on juicing? You have to come in and be like, hey, look, and steal this, please. I would go into Flywheel, all these different places. And I was like, look, so I would get my my deeper voice, which is pretty deep. And I'd be like, you know what? I want to come in. I've got these amazing workshops. Like, you're already in your head. You don't know necessarily how it's going to play out, but you're like, I've got these amazing workshops. Because here's the deal. And at that time, Think Thin bars were everywhere. And I said, here's the deal. You can go in and you can buy a bar for $4 or $6, or you can buy protein balls, 3 for like, at that time I was like 14, or I can teach your people. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm going to come in here with gloves, all bowls, and I'm going to literally show people how to make protein balls, raw cookie dough. And they were like, really? So you want to just think of these things. The next one that I did is I pitched to a juicing place. And this was my lead in because I wanted locally to find people, not only for oils, but to find people for a detox. Let them do the juices. I'll give the materials. And I went and I said, it was hot. It was, summer, near summer. And I said, look, can I come in and teach people how to make vegan ice cream? And I was like, 3-ingredient vegan ice cream. And they were like, wait, what? And I said, yeah, do you think your people would love that? And they were like, oh my God, yes. I said, I'm going to bring 2 Vitamixes. I brought in a huge thing, all my ingredients, and then said, I'm going to make the ice cream for those of you who don't want the oil. And I'm going to put a drop of peppermint, drop of wild orange. And I made all these different, and people were like, oh my goodness. Some of those people signed up. Some of those people are my clients. Some of those are friends who signed up for other things with me. They all become, and that builds not only your authority, but when you're in an area, everyone will start to talk. As Sarah said, someone will be like, oh, do you know her or do you know him? They do this she or he does this really cool thing. You have to find out about it. So think about the things that I keep saying make you different. Be the person that has different information, educational information, and information that is not just easy to find. You want to be like, did you know? Did you know you could do this for your skin? Did you know that this could help you with your poop? I mean, I talked about poop constantly because no one wants to talk about it. And it's a huge thing. And more people are constipated. So think about some basic things. Is your hair falling out? You poop, wrinkles, like all the things that really motivate people. Unfortunately, they're not like, oh, I've got to work on the deepest issues that happened when I was 2 or 3. They're like, this is not right. It's all right. Okay, so when you are pricing out, you're backing in on your ingredients, you're backing in on your time, and then what did you come to your price on your workshop?
Is that better sound-wise also?
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I started off kind of low. Okay, I started off making a little, and I was pricing it at about $45 for the workshop. I'm up to 60. Sometimes I'll do 65. If there's a group that says we really only have like 4 or 5, I'll say, okay, well, I can do this for you, but because of the cost of materials, we just need to even it out, and that usually works. So that works really well. When you're talking about, let's see, it's 90 minutes, so about an hour and a half. And it's usually 65. It's like $520, okay, for like a little over an hour's worth of work. I've already done all the prep. That's all done. So it's pretty great for me, okay? It's pretty great for like a mom's night out, for an afternoon workshop. And by the way, the moms, tap into those mommies.
Yeah.
Tap into the mommies. If that's your tribe, tap into them. They want to get out at night. They want to be, to be able to do something fun and learn something fun. So for the kombucha stuff, it's great. You say, come on, I'm going to teach you this. We're going to have some mocktails. We're going to learn how to use these things to make, a couple of self-care products. It's going to be so much fun. You own it. They want it, right? But you have to own it. It's a confidence thing, okay? You've got to be able to be that authority. I completely agree with Rachel on that one, because if you're not comfortable with it, people are not going to be comfortable with you. But the bottom line is usually that workshop usually makes me, $500 to $600
And then do you end up using a combination of online and offline, meaning do you promote it locally or do you promote it locally and online?
So I promote it very, very minimally online because it fills up really quickly. Okay, this one fills up really fast. Like I say, I'm doing it. I'll even post like as a little, as a, status update. The kombucha's getting ready, or like I'll post a picture of the jars with the smoothies in, and within usually less than a day, I'll have my inbox will be flooded saying, I so want in on this one. Like when you're like, let me know what it is. I want to get in on this one. So once you find something that really works, people will come. So for me, I don't have to market it so much online. I think if I wanted to make it bigger and I marketed it online, I'm getting better at that, that it would be, I could run it a lot.
Well, and guys, even think as Sarah's talking about your different systems. And when I say system, this isn't like, are you an Active Campaign or Infusionsoft or MailChimp? I mean, what are you offering? Where do they go next? What do you want to achieve from that? So for example, if you work with gut, then gut kind of covers a ton of different areas. But if you work with gut and you have a gut workshop, that becomes your signature. Like, or maybe you want to buy the probiotic opt-in freebie and you turn that into a master class, or you combine that with the gut and give the probiotic as a gift for everyone who's coming. Then you could also say, hey, and I am doing this thing offline. We're making kombucha, or maybe cultured vegetables are your jam.
Yep.
Maybe water kefir, or maybe you want to get together and show people a tour of every cultured food and cultured drink in the market. Mm-hmm. And just like I was at the birthday party today, and one of my son's friend's mom said, I've been sick since December. I've been on antibiotics. And we just started talking. I told her this was a year of major superbugs. And I told her my favorite probiotics. So that's what I mean about giving the shopping center away for free. I rolled off about 5 different ones I love, what I take, not telling her what to do. And, it's that people don't know that information. So she was like, oh my God, I'm leaving right now. I'm running to Whole Foods, literally. And so I want you to think about what would people want. And if you do work with them one-on-one, and that's your goal, what are you doing in your practice? What are you giving them? What are their issues? Is it food allergies? Is it digestive issues? Is it brain fog? Again, these are the problems they have. Doesn't mean you're diagnosing, doesn't mean you're treating. These are the problems that they're going to tell you. And in your mind, especially to also safeguard yourself, I believe in any business, it is nice to have like, well, we're going to start here, then we go here. And that's where I would just be like, we're starting with this gut program. So I could educate, because I found that most people were not educated. There was so much information. It was actually information overload. Mm-hmm. So decrease that. And the same thing could be done online. If you met people offline and you did that, you can still bring them to an online program. So you're always thinking of both. They can match each other. You don't want to not have your work for you. Your right. work that is offline can really be your work online. The only magical part of the online that you have to master is what message, and this just takes practice. What message is that person, stopping and going, oh my God, yeah, I dealt with that too. So that's the stuff to keep a notebook of what are the messages that really work off of your polarizing topics that define who you are and what you're going to always talk about.
Well, I think that's actually a really great point. The other one that I want to bring in too is the upsell, right? So I run detoxes offline, done that for years. That was one of the first things that I bought from you, Rach, was the seasonal detox. It was transformative for me and my clients. Kombucha works great for the seasonal detox. So in the beginning with my offline stuff, I'd say, okay, join the seasonal detox and we're going to do a kombucha workshop. It's an upsell, like for $40 more in the beginning. For $40 more, we're going to get together and I'm going to teach you how to do kombucha. You're going to go home with the materials and you're going to completely rock this detox. Okay. You can do the same thing if you're into essential oils, right? Okay, this is how we do it. We're going to do an essential oil class with this, but let's get rocking with the detox. And then this fits perfectly. You're going to love this. It's going to make your experience so much better. Again, go back to how can you build the experience for the people that you serve? How can you continue to build the relationship, right? So for me, again, it's solving the problem. What is the pain point? How can I help them get from where they are to where they want to be with what I know? Okay. So in this instance with the detox, especially, and it's like a perfect fit. Aromatherapy, essential oils, stress relief, all the stuff that I do and that I'm certified in. And kombucha, I'm not certified in kombucha, but I'm pretty good at making kombucha. That stuff just naturally flows right in. So it becomes a real point of synchronicity. Okay. They work together. So think about how what you offer can work together. What can you add on to your current, your current offerings that's going to add value, then that makes sense, right? If it doesn't make sense, then either think about how you can pair it with something else, like hold off on that. You don't have to give away the farm all at one time. Like there's a lot of stuff I love to do, but I don't offer it all at once. It would be overwhelming for me, and it would be overwhelming for the people that I serve. And again, for me, stress relief is huge. I don't want to add to the burden. Like I want to say, do this with me, and then next week, do this with me, and that's like you don't want people to have that open mouth and start fire hose feeling. You want them to be able to breathe, right? That's what's important to me, and that's what's important to the people that I serve. So think about who you serve and what works for them, right? And how what you're offering can help to add benefit. That's big. So I don't know if you want to talk about the challenge thing yet, but
yeah, I mean, and I think what I had said also the other day is think about your hourly cost. It's really, a lot of us don't talk about that, but if you do look at a lot of different people's sites who are not health coaches, you'll see single session, 45-minute session, 30-minute session. We have been taught to kind of produce these like 3 and 6 month longer packages. And the nice thing is sometimes when you have these non-committal workshops, these detoxes, or even, hey, let's meet for 3 hours, get together, cook. These can all, I want you to think about the possibilities that you can do. Host, I used to say to people, you want to host a detox party?
Yeah.
Women together, let's rock it out. In this office, I used to have women pile in this office, and they were like, well, you don't have the money. Can we all do it together? I said, as long as we're all doing the same thing, let's have a little party in my office.
Yep.
So be creative. That's what I'm saying. I think so many of us are probably leaving money on the table. I used to cook for clients. I didn't have a license. I didn't need one because I wasn't selling it in that way. I made sure with the Department of, the state in Florida, that what I was doing included in my services, because I was coaching them and I was cooking. So when I tell you these things, because I tested out all the different things, shopping tours and, just VIP days. So know what your hour is so that you can reverse engineer a VIP day,
Yep.
a cooking class, all these different fun things that can elevate your offline. So I want Sarah to just break down some simple steps that she did, because remember, she's never gone online except for, hey, here a status update. And she did her first online announcement challenge and got 100 people and then converted them. So I want her to kind of give you some steps, simple steps on what you could do that you could write down tonight and go and implement.
Okay, so first I want to show you what I was doing before. Okay, and it's great. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah.
I had made a postcard. Okay, so for offline marketing materials, I made a postcard. Okay,
Yeah.
and what I would do is I would put this into an envelope. This is again relationship, right? So as I would meet people, I would get their names on my sign-up sheet for whatever workshop. I would follow up by sending the card. Okay.
Oh, so classy. Love that.
The 7-day smoothie challenge. So I sent this guy out, and that's how I would build the offline challenge. Okay, it was pretty popular. Still is pretty popular. When I ever go into workshops, if I go into any PTA meeting, if I go into any, to talk with teachers, it's like a freebie, okay? But it's great. Like when you have something that works really well, use it, leverage it. Make an offline, like marketing material. I'm gonna do a brochure. This is my brochure. This tells you about what I can help you with, okay? And it shows you that I am ready. Like I'm there for you, and here it is. So that's how I was doing the smoothie challenge. Okay, I decided, all right, I'm gonna try the online thing. Because Rach says, we can all do this, right? I'm like, I can do this then, like I can do this, okay? So I used to be a systems administrator when I worked, but I'm like, I can rock the technical thing. So I got on there, okay? I set it up. I started putting it out there. I made the pretty pictures. I started putting it in my marketing, and I'm a smoothie girl anyway, right? So like I posted about smoothies all the time, and I'm like, okay, let's start saying about what the extra benefits are here. And then let's be like, hey, you want to join me for this ride? Because this is kind of fun, and you might learn something, and I've got a killer ebook for you. You're going to totally love this, and you can try this out even if you've never done it before. Even if you think you hate smoothies, this thing is for you. Like, I think I can make you a convert, and I'd say, let's make a liar of me. Like, let's see. Now, I did this totally by the seat of my pants, by the way. I know Rachel will tell you to do the marketing thing. I totally didn't do that. Like, I can tell you my dirty little secret that I'm like, I flew by the seat of my pants, right? Lit that thing up, had like 30 people. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, you know? And I had people going like, can I sign up? Like, you can. Within a couple of days, 99 people. It's now like well over, like I think it's 120, okay? That's great. I love it. The material is going out. Now my list was already pretty good. I have the list of slightly over 1,000, which for my area, in a rural area, it's good for me here, okay? One girl, one girl. But that works for me. So adding, increasing by 10% with one little challenge, that's huge. Okay, so think about, like, that was the thing. People say, oh, I've got this 7,000 person list. I'm like, that is not my list, that is not my world. So you need to make sure that this is relevant to your world. So if 1,000 people is not your world, don't worry about that. Like, just sit back and take a breath. If you've got like 5 people right now, see if you can add 2 more. See if you can add 5 more. See what you can do, but don't be discouraged by a number because it may not be the same for you, right? And I live in rural New Hampshire, okay? Dirt road. It's awesome. There's moose like outside right now. So that's me. Anyway, with the smoothie challenge, I put in those videos. I am not a super great video girl. I make funny facial expressions. I talk with my hands, but I think I'm funny. And so I think I'm going to put myself out there. And guess what? People thought that I was funny. People thought that I was, engaging. People started to ask questions. I got a lot of feedback saying, these are great. Like, I never knew I could put something together like that. And I'll, come on with my morning face and say, this is the morning smoothie. It's 5 a.m., It is about being real, showing up where you are, showing what you do and how you do it, and building that relationship. I got to come back to that. Like, I have to come back to the relationship. It's about building that relationship. If you don't have that, people aren't going to trust you when it comes to matters of their health, right? They might talk to you and ask you some basic questions. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty, they're not gonna come to you. And my people are the people who have real, like, heavy challenges. They want somebody that they know is real. They want somebody that they know walks the walk, not just talks the talk, okay? Because I could say to you, smoothies are great. This is the nutritional value. I could tell you all those things. But you are in my kitchen with me every morning in this challenge, sometimes in the middle of the day, sometimes late at night when I've got insomnia and I'm like, I need something to chill me out, right? So those are the things that have helped me in that challenge, building the real relationship, okay? And I had more people like say, oh, can I join this? My friend was doing this with you, and I know that the official time frame is over, but can I still jump in? Yeah. So I decided I'm leaving this thing open, and it has generated an awful lot for me in the last 10 days. Okay, so number 1, I did this on the fly. Number 2, I love it. I love what it is. I love smoothies. It aligns 100% with who I am. and my lifestyle, okay? That's why I think it's working really well. So once that challenge was winding down in my MailChimp sequence, because I rock that too, I had it set out to say, all right, like this is how I got to smoothies, right? Because maybe I didn't share with you the complete and total like hoo-ha that happened in my health and why I got here, that I did a 21-day water fast because things got real, okay? And the immune system went nuts. So I did that. I've done the liquid nutrition. I've done the whole extreme everything. But what I've come down to for me is that giving the body a break, giving the digestive process a break once a day helps immensely. And maybe it'll help you too. Like you don't need to go to the extremes that I went to because I learned the lesson. Let me teach you the lesson so you don't have to have that struggle. Let me show you a way that they work for you. Let me show you how to have more time in your day. Let me show you how to make it less of a burden to like get breakfast on the table or get the snack after school. Okay? It's the pain point. Tapping into the pain point. Those were my follow-up email from the challenge. And that's when the magic happened. Okay? The magic happened, 7-day challenge. The magic happened on day 9 when I was like, I'm launching this detox on day 10. Like I'm just going. And again, Rachel, my mentor, my guru, I love you. But like I did not do the whole 6-week thing. I was like, I'm going to do this in 2. Okay. And for whatever reason it's worked for me, I completely see the value of setting it up for a manageable way. And I will do that next time. So do as I say, not as I do in this one. But the magic happened, and overnight I had 7 people sign up for this online detox. Okay, out of this challenge, 7 people signed up. And by the way, my open rate for MailChimp was phenomenal. Okay, like it was up at the 70 and 80%, which was huge for me. Okay, so this is what tells me that what I'm saying and what I'm delivering is matching and aligning with the people who are on the receiving end. So if you're not getting that open rate, think about what are you offering? How have you built that relationship? Are people wanting to hear from you or are they not? Okay, that made me feel like I was on the right track. The next day, the next night, it bumped up to 11 people. Okay, 11 people. It's now at 19. So this one little foray with my like complete like woo, fly by the seat of my pants method here, I'm at like $1,500 for this effort, and I feel really good about that.
You want me to tell you a secret?
Yeah, what?
Okay, so every coach, and I know everyone keeps saying your earbuds because I'm going to actually send this video off to my guy to take out the background. Don't worry, it's not, stuff happens, guys, seriously.
Sorry.
That's the stuff that also you'll learn is that you just roll with stuff, and then you fix it after. Is everyone who I've interviewed has been, Jessica was like, oh yeah, I posted 3 times. I got these amount of people. I had to close it. I didn't think about the marketing, but every person that you have listened to, including Sarah, has talked about that. And I will tell you, I have never done the 6-week. I do that for my big launches and I do it for clients who have those kind of webinar to sequence. But I think that's where everyone is starting to get confused. I say that in your guides, in the manuals in there, because I don't want you to stress out and have a freak out. And I want you to breathe. But most often, let me just run down. It should take no more than about 2 hours to edit a 2-week program. You should go through footers, do the footer. You should edit, you should delete what is extraneous. And if tech takes you down, delete something from your life that week that you are doing. Take something out. Sacrifice something in your life. Don't go out to dinner. Don't buy kombucha. Don't buy Kavita. And hire a virtual assistant for $30. That's pretty much. The second part is you got to bring yourself. I know this sounds so old school, but what Sarah is saying and what she kept going back to is this matched me. This felt good. This felt right. you know, and when it feels right, that comes off. When it feels right, people are excited to follow you, especially on online. You know, online is about telling a story. Online is about you guiding somebody through a story, through an experience, through a journey. And offline is the same thing. If you're not feeling like something's in alignment with you, or you're exhausting yourself in too many places, which many of us have done, you're not going to have the energy to when I say do the marketing, that means really you showing up and sharing what life was like, what happened, what it is like now, what you learned, and who you help. It's a very basic formula. What happened? Why was it so bad? What brought you to your knees that made you say, can't do this anymore? And Sarah shared her story, and each of you have, and you know, I always talk about Tony Robbins. Each of us have multiple stories. I can tell you about the asthma, I can tell you about the ulcer, I can tell you about the pituitary possible tumor, I can tell you about the ulcerative colitis, every different thing that has happened. They were all still parts of my story. Story is different from niche or polarizing. That's different. The story and the journey is what somebody identifies with. Somebody doesn't identify with, I specialize in hormones. That means nothing to anybody. Nothing. It doesn't mean anything if you're like, I specialize in digestive wellness, or even I help busy women who are struggling with energy issues, or I help moms who feel overwhelmed and they don't know what to shop. So I give them a step-by-step, 5-step blueprint for the market, as well as meals to keep them sane. What they identify with is when, just like Sarah laid it out, when I struggled with, when I had this, are you bum? Do you have this? Do you have this? When I had this, I felt this. Here, I hope this helps. So you're taking them through in marketing a 5 email sequence. I call this a soap opera sequence. Why? In a soap opera, you're like, and then they're like, and here, and then it went this way, and then they're like, and it was, the solution, the story, and everyone's happy. You're taking them through, this is really bad, this has happened. So the whole process in you thinking about it, go and think about, and then we are gonna wrap this up because I want Sarah to go back to her house. And the good thing, guys, is you do get to see Sarah's brilliance. She's not only as fired up as I am always about health and spirit and soul and helping people who are suffering. We talk about that a lot. And the silent suffering, which we martyr through life, so many of us, and caregiving and stuff like that, that we so often didn't get for ourselves as little ones that we carried. So remember, so many of us, and I think that's also the part, is so many of us have our own health issues. You really do need to be smart about where you are spending your energy. Sarah and I talk about this a lot too, that healthy balance. Most of you guys did not come into this because you're like, superfoods are cool. You come into your health, or you came because you were angry at the system. Find that fuel. That fuel will overpower your fear. And say that. I always have these two things up here. I always listen to Eric Thomas, although he's my like yelling guy. I listen to Les Brown and Eric Thomas a lot, because he talks about, you know, when you feel scared, when you feel broken, you have to tap into your why. So many of us are bogged down. Yes, I do talk about the funnel, but I don't talk about like, you have to just, no one's opening emails. Think about it. Do you open by the 3rd? Not unless you know there's a gift. So think about what you really intuitively feel is right. That's what I call it, the intuitive business, the intuitive funnel. Then really think about what you need to do and where you need to put your energy, so that your fear is not running your show, and you can actually tap into the excitement and get those people like a, you know, off the seat kind of, I'm just going to do this, I'm going to go for it, because people will feel that, they'll identify, they will buy from you. And if you continue, as Sarah said, develop that relationship, love them up, communicate, go that extra. It's funny. I have a protein ball. I did that on a card too, but on the back is a protein ball because you're not going to throw it away. Protein ball recipe. So think about the things that separate you. Think about those extra steps. The, letter to somebody. And if you guys have any questions, you can, find Sarah in our forums and stuff like that. And if you have any questions about working with Sarah or her work, I will also put that information so you can reach out to her as well. Thank you so much. And thanks, guys. We will fix the sound. Don't worry. Don't worry. We say sorry too much in life. And I'm a huge advocate of, sometimes things happen, like they just do. And so we have to move on, and we just have to love up each other and, build our businesses and stop stressing so much about all the noise that is hitting us, and think about the noise that's hitting your potential client who's saying there really feels alone tonight, or feels depressed and they're not saying it to anybody, or doesn't have somebody or community to call their own, and just needs the love that you're giving them. So with that being said, guys, it was a pleasure to be with you guys. Sarah, I love you, lady. Beyond love, beyond love. I mean, it's just to hear your story. And I will close with this, guys. The whole reason why you also want someone to know your story is, because it evokes emotion. And so even as I'm saying, I love you, I'm teary. And that's the whole point, is that you want to feel somebody else as they talk. And maybe I'm a feeler, and those are the people I'm attracted to, but you have to find who you are. Who are you attracted to when they speak? What moves you to say, this person really has to be in my life? Because that's what a program is about. That's what one-on-one coaching. That is what anything you do, a membership, the shopping tour, you're touching someone's life, and they will want to be touched by you in any way if you take that time to love them up, if you take that time to really get to know them. So get to know yourself tonight. Think about the 5 places. Think about each of those little things, and get out of your own goddamn way. I don't think that. Get out of your own way and just smack yourself, put a rubber band on your wrist, and every time you have a fear, smack it. And just, as Tony Robbins said, smack yourself even. Smack. Every time you just have a negative Nelly, be like, smack, smack, I'm done. Smack, 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 smack. And go out in there and bust some ass, because we need that in this world. I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, honey. I know we're both in tears, but you know what? That's what coaching is about. Tap into your soul, guys, and your business will be set on fire. I love you all. Bye, guys.